Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was one of the more well-received films of Marvel's Phase 4. Many fans were not sure what to expect due to this film being the first movie to introduce a new MCU hero without the assistance of a legacy character. And also, 10 Rings? Should his name be changed to Bling-Chi? The previous film, Black Widow, does introduce us to Yelena Belova, but it still was Natasha's film. About 5 years too late, but that's another story. And she was front and center despite Yelena stealing most of the scenes with the help of her Russian accent coach. Simu Liu had a lot of heavy lifting and kicking to do by introducing a fringe character from the Marvel Comics catalog. But was he successful? Are fans looking forward to seeing Liu's version of Shang-Chi show up in future projects? Those are much bigger questions. The only question we're going to answer in this video is the most important question. Is he comics accurate? For those of you who have not been to my channel before, I'm going to compare and contrast three main aspects of Shang-Chi between his original comic book version and the MCU live-action version. The three aspects are personality, appearance, and abilities. After I make my comparison, I'm going to use a comic book rack to assign the live-action version of the character a comics-accurate score, ranging from 1 to 5 comic racks. If you don't know what a 5-rack movie is, think Guardians of the Galaxy, while a 1-rack movie would be Catwoman. I'm also going to assess if its comic accuracy is for the better or worse of the character. In this breakdown, we are only going to focus on his comic book origins and storylines as the source material. Now that we got all of that out of the way, let's get into it. The Master of Kung Fu was created by writer Steve Englehart and artist Jim Starlin, and first appeared in Special Marvel Edition number 15 in 1973. Marvel created Shang-Chi in an effort to capitalize on the Kung Fu movie fad that had gripped America in the 1970s. Englehart, who was a student of I Ching, which might sound like the name of a SoundCloud rapper, but is actually a form of Chinese divination, named Shang-Chi from the word Shang, meaning ascending, and Chi, which means vital energy. When Englehart and Starlin pitched their original idea for a fully Asian character to Marvel, this idea was racistly rejected. Publishing wisdom in the 1970s was that you can't do an all-Asian character, he had to be half white. So that was imposed on us, and they came up with the idea of making his father Fu Manchu. Marvel had acquired the comic book publishing rights for the Fu Manchu character, and wanted to find a way to include him in their stories. I assume the identity of Shang-Chi's white mom was an afterthought, just as long as she wasn't Asian. Now let's talk about both versions of the character's origin to see how they compare. In the comic books, Shang-Chi was the son of the villainous Fu Manchu, who is later revealed to be Zhang Zhu because Marvel lost the rights to Fu Manchu. Hey, at least it rhymes. Shang-Chi was raised to be an assassin and believed his father to be a benevolent man. Upon learning of Fu Manchu's true nature, Shang-Chi rebels against his father and uses his martial arts skill to fight against evil. It's kinda like Luke Skywalker knew Kung Fu. In the MCU film, Shang-Chi is the son of Wenwu, a character who is loosely based on the comic book villain, the Mandarin, who Marvel already ruined in Iron Man 3. Shang-Chi was also raised to be an unstoppable warrior and is sent to avenge the death of his mother. Upon completing his mission, he is traumatized and runs away to San Francisco, which you would think with the high cost of living there would bring him more trauma. But when his father comes looking for him, he is forced to confront his past and use his martial arts skills to save the world. We have now come to the first aspect that we will critique: personality. In the comics, Shang-Chi is depicted as a stoic and serious character, dedicated to using his martial arts skills for good. Okay, we get it, Shang. You will only use your martial arts for good and not to impress these cute girls at the bar. He is often portrayed as a lone warrior, preferring to work solo rather than as part of a team. He is also known as a bad tipper, which is why his friends call him Shang-Chi. Okay, I made that one up, just making sure you guys are paying attention. Shang-Chi is a master of multiple martial arts styles and is often shown training and honing his skills. While in the movie, Shang-Chi is still a skilled martial artist, but he has a more lighthearted and humorous personality. He is depicted as being more of a regular guy, with flaws and insecurities like any other multiple martial arts master. He has a close relationship with his best friend Katie, played by Awkwafina, which is the actress's real name and not the character's superhero name, who also says that the relatability of the character in the film was an extension of Simu Liu. Simu is grounded and has heart. That really comes out in the character. Now let's discuss and compare Shang-Chi's appearance in the comics. Shang-Chi is often depicted as a muscular and athletic Asian man with black hair and a clean-shaven face. He wears a traditional Chinese martial arts outfit with a red and black color scheme. Even though the original concept of Shang-Chi was of a half-Asian, half-white person, the racist imagery of the Asian skin tone was still an element of the character. Starlin said that the reason for Shang-Chi's coloring was due to a combination of limited colors in comic book printing and archaic ideas about race. Wow, even the printer machines were racist back then. Shang-Chi was a creation at a time when not only was there a limited outlook among a lot of folks as far as what the world was about, but we were very limited in what could be done technologically. After the original creators Englehart and Starlin left the comic book series, artist Paul Gulacy modeled Shang-Chi after martial artist and movie star Bruce Lee, which I'm assuming in the 70s was the only Asian guy most white people knew. What I tried to do at the time was bring Bruce Lee back in a sense. When Bruce died, I felt that Master of Kung Fu was the only outlet for a Bruce Lee type guy. That's how I saw Shang-Chi. In the movie, actor Simu Liu portrays Shang-Chi as a more modern and fashionable character. He has a leaner build and wears a variety of outfits throughout the film, including a hoodie and jeans, and probably a pretty cool sneaker collection. His appearance is more casual and relatable to modern audiences. It isn't until the end of the film where we see Simu Liu actually wear Shang-Chi's traditional red and black outfit when he reaches the magical city of Ta Lo. The suit is said to be made of the scales of the great protector dragon of the city. Not even Supreme makes those. Costume designer Andy Park discusses how he incorporates traditional Asian cultures into Shang-Chi's suit design. I came with the idea of incorporating the symbol that's very prevalent in Chinese culture, as well as other cultures, the infinite knot. That's very symbolic and has a lot of different meanings, as well as the dragon scales or dragon skin that you see on his jacket. It's time for us to look at Shang-Chi's comic book abilities and his MCU live-action adaptation abilities. Now we have to break this down into the top 4 most important abilities, or we'll be doing this all day. I've selected intellectual prowess, superhuman abilities, natural physical abilities, and technological abilities. Let's bring up the abilities board. Now let's take a look at intellectual prowess. Since Shang-Chi's personality in the comic book is more reserved and philosophic, his mastery of things goes beyond martial arts, such as being multilingual and working with MI6 after leaving Fu Manchu's order, giving his comic book version an IP score of 65. The MCU version is more relatable as an average everyday guy, so his IP score is 50. Step up your intellectual prowess, MCU Shang-Chi. We now move on to superhuman abilities in both versions of the character, which is relatively low, coming in at 10. In the comics, Shang-Chi doesn't start with any superhuman abilities, but as his story has progressed over the years, he finds out that he's inherited psionic abilities from his mother, but none of that is being taken into consideration. The MCU version of the character also doesn't have any superhuman abilities, besides mastering his chi, but that isn't really categorized as a superpower. Tell that to my yoga instructor. But it gives him points on the board. The comic book Shang-Chi's natural ability score is a perfect 100. He is recognized as the master of Kung Fu and has gone toe-to-toe with characters such as the Thing and the god Ares without using any magical or superhuman abilities. So his cockiness ability score would be through the roof. The live-action version of Shang-Chi's score is a 70 because he shows the beginnings of greatness, but still has a long way to go to beat the Thing. While Liu's character easily disposed of multiple skilled fighters at one time, he was repeatedly defeated by his sister Xu Xialing and his father Wenwu, which I'm sure they'll tease him about at the next family barbecue. We now look at Shang-Chi's technological abilities, and as you can see, there are very different scores for each version. The comic book version of Shang-Chi has a score of 20 because he doesn't traditionally use anything other than his hands. But he is equally proficient in various weapons of martial arts, but put him in front of a computer and he's useless. This version of the character did not receive the 10 rings until after his live-action counterpart received them in the film. The MCU Shang-Chi receives a score of 70 due to the abilities the 10 rings bestows on him, such as superhuman strength, speed, endurance, and agility. Personally, I think the character is more interesting being formidable to all he encounters, regardless of if they have superpowers or not. It takes away some of the awe or gravitas that the comic version of the character has had throughout the years. Now that we've gone over all of the major aspects of Shang-Chi from the comic book and the MCU, we now ask the question, is Simu Liu's portrayal of Shang-Chi comics accurate? Drum roll, please. In my opinion, yes. While there are some differences in personality and abilities, the movie version still captures the essence of the character without making him a Debbie Downer loner type. I would give the MCU's version 3 comic racks. Simu Liu's performance has created an engaging version of Shang-Chi that has the potential to become much more. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Simu Liu's character grow to being a more stoic and wiser person as he learns more about himself and his abilities. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to give a comic book fan like myself the opportunity to bring you into my world. If you enjoyed this video, do all of the YouTube things. Like and subscribe so you never miss a new video. My name is Tom, and this has been Comics Accurate.